Hello and welcome back to another episode of Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, where bold ideas and smart strategy collide. Today's guest is Gil Golan, the driving force behind Zenith Marketing Group, a digital marketing shop that's been helping businesses stand out in the online arena since 2025, this year, with insights on SEO, social media, PPC, and measurable growth. Gil regularly publishes forward-thinking perspectives like his Digital Marketing 101, Winning Digital Strategies, and Top Social Media Trends in 2025. From foundational tactics to cutting-edge strategy, Gil's your guide to building brand visibility and scaling with real ROI. Welcome to the podcast, Gil. Yeah, my pleasure. It's always nice to meet a fellow marketer, and it looks like you have some great experience and are doing some great new things with Zenith Marketing Group. Now, you've published some great documents. One of the ones I noted was the Ultimate Guide to Winning a Digital Marketing Strategy. Ultimate Guide to a Winning Digital Marketing Strategy. Sorry, I struggle to read when I'm...
Yeah,
it's like rubbing my stomach and patting my head at the same time. You walk through audience research, SMART goals, channel selection, content creation, and measurement. What's a big mistake you see brands consistently making in this area that you wanted to address?
so I would say just not having a plan. So
Mm.
going into the marketing space and essentially not knowing what your goals are, or obviously everyone's end goal is to generate revenue. So you have whatever business you have, and you say, okay, I want more money. What can I do to achieve that money? I mean, what I do, and with my experience when I speak to prospects or clients, that is what I ask them. What is your goal, and how fast do you want to achieve that? And also, what is your marketing budget? So some people may not have the correct guidance. They don't know what they can do with a specific budget. So if they go into like SEO, a lot of people say, okay, SEO is the way to go, and I recommend any type of business do SEO. I think it's very important. But a lot of business owners, people in general, they don't understand that SEO can take time. So you know, one thing is, my job is to set proper expectations, but also for people to understand, and that is going back to the mistake that I see people make, is going into a specific digital marketing strategy without understanding what the outcome can be, expectations, how much it can cost them, and not having a full-fledged uh, overarching strategy for everything to do with marketing. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. And just to build on that, I think you and I both work with a lot of small and medium-sized business owners, and something you mentioned made me think of that concept that they don't necessarily understand a lot of the marketing concepts. A lot of these, say like a home service business, a plumber, they've done extensive training in their field and are quite expert at it, but that training didn't really include like new client acquisition or even SEO. How do you both so when you're approaching a new client, how do you educate them and inform them of the need for these kinds of best marketing practices?
So I personally just like to be transparent, and I don't try to overpromise. So going back to what I mentioned as far as like a goal. So a plumber, as your example, they might want more leads so they can generate more revenue, get more clients. Now, how fast do they want to do it? I mean, obviously they want to do it quick, but what's your expectations? If you want to do it within a month, then you got to go the PPC route. If you go the SEO route, you gotta know that also there are factors involved with SEO. Where are you right now with your rankings? How old is your domain? You got to take the ranking factors into account. So, I mean, with that being said, is it going to take 6 months, 12 months, etc.? So, I think setting the proper expectations, or that business understanding, uh, with their goals, what it looks like, that's really important in on my book.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a great way to frame it, and I think people can understand it when you talk about like, well, this is actual bookings that we're discussing. It's not these niche metrics that it takes years to understand.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so let's jump a little bit to social media. Now, I know you've written about social media trends. What do you think, as far as an emerging social channel or trend, which of those has the strongest upside for, a marketer or a business owner trying to get more visibility for the brand?
Yeah, so it really depends on the brand. I mean, if you have something like a viral product, I would say that looks cool and maybe has a younger demographic. I mean, TikTok is the way to go. And there's now TikTok has their own like business manager, like Facebook and Meta has. But when it comes to, let's say, like service-based industries, I probably wouldn't go that route. I mean, I still like Meta for those, again, like Facebook and Instagram. Um, Again, depending on the business, but I would say, the normal social channels, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, again, depending on the industry. Um, and I know Google's not necessarily a social channel, excluding like the Google Business Profile. You can obviously do posts of that as well. But yeah, depending on the industry, running PPC using Google as a medium might be the way to go. But yeah, going back to the answer, uh, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are the top three, I would say.
Yeah, fantastic. Have you done much with any of the like the other outside of that, like LinkedIn or Snapchat, or have you done much work there?
I've dabbled a little bit in LinkedIn. LinkedIn, in my opinion, is really good in the B2B space. So, as an agency, I'm trying to get clients. I go to LinkedIn for myself, and if I was dealing with another business that's targeting other business owners, I mean, LinkedIn would be a good way to go. Um, but like in my specific niche, where I target mostly service-based industries in the home service-based industries, LinkedIn is not the best. And also Snapchat would also, again, it depends if your demographic is also younger, kind of
Mhm.
similar to TikTok. Snapchat is the way to go, and again, depends on the product, depends what the service is. But yeah, I would say those are good too, um, depending on the industry.
Um, yeah, I would agree with that. I haven't done I've done a little dabbling with TikTok, and none with Snap, but my daughters, who are both in high school, tell me that I sound like a grandpa when I say that. So now you're a founder, you're very active in this space. You produce some great content. Do you do you find that it is, I guess where I'm trying to go is you're promoting great content, great thoughts, and helpful tips. Where do you find the balance between building your own brand versus building your agency's brand? Like, where do you put your face on things? Where do you, and position yourself as the expert? Whereas you try to position your company more as, the entity you're trying to promote.
Yeah, good question. And I would say me as an individual, I am important to the brand itself. Because I mean, you mentioned earlier that, Zenith Marketing Group, my company, we've been around, since this year. I founded it this year, but my knowledge and my expertise extends over 10 years in the digital marketing space. So for me to say, hey, I just founded my business, this year, someone might look at me and say, like, okay, why would I hire you? But if you go to the About Us page on my website, it's a whole bio about me and my experience and my resources and what I offer and what I bring to the table for those. So, yeah, I mean, branding myself is important. I mean, I am. If you check out my Instagram and Facebook, the posts I have right now, they're also some informative posts, but some videos of me just talking about something, talking about what I offer. Reed, are you there? Oh, I thought you got stuck for a second.
Yeah, no, and
I see. No.
one failing of the Descript platform, which I generally love, is that it will the video on the other side sometimes will lag or freeze, especially while you're talking. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I could hear all that clearly. So yeah,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I like Descript. I use it for my video editing. Actually, I didn't even
oh,
know they
awesome.
have this. as an option, but that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's a couple bells and whistles I haven't tried, but um, overall it's been good. I feel like it is a little bit of a experimental platform. They keep throwing new features on there, and once in a while something just won't work. But I do kind of,
Yeah.
that's kind of my jam, is the kind of platform that has, they're trying things and breaking things. So I kind of like that. But
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
well, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off if you were finishing something.
No, you're good. So just to go back, I was finishing off. It was yeah, just as far as marketing myself, yeah, it is important. Um, like it's not, I wouldn't say it's a necessity.
Mhm.
I would say in my case it just it does make things a little bit easier, putting my background and my bio information on something, slapping my name on it and saying like, hey, this is the background I have. um I wouldn't say it's an absolute necessity. If people start from scratch, you can start a business from scratch, and that's 100% fine, as long as you educate yourself, as long as you know what you're selling, what you're talking about, and you could deliver, that's good too.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. And I would say from personal experience, I come from more of a software sales background where, um, I was dialing for dollars, and usually the amount of activity determined my success. But as I've taken over a marketing agency, I've found that putting myself out there and having, creating educational content and helpful content and putting myself out there, like through podcasts, for instance, it does
Mhm.
seem to it does seem to help the brand. It's like I'm helping the brand by helping myself. It sounds totally selfish and capitalistic, but I think there's some wisdom there.
For sure.
So, okay, so AI, we've got to talk about AI. Any marketing or tech
Yeah,
conversation has to bring up AI. Has AI
100%.
affected the way you do business as a marketer? Um, and do you have any experiences where AI has, really helped your work, or help you find solutions you wouldn't have found otherwise?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I mean, one example, I think we were talking before the call, and I was saying how I found you, and how that connected us. Where I asked
Yeah.
ChatGPT, what's a way that I can, get in front of people and talk to people, and that was on the list of 10 different items. Why don't you submit yourself to a podcast and just have a conversation? So, I mean, there's one right there. That's why we're talking right now. But, yeah, I mean. AI is super prevalent, so I mean, I use ChatGPT on a daily. My wife sometimes jokes that I'm like cheating on her with ChatGPT.
Are
Um,
you that guy?
yeah. So I would say that large language models like ChatGPT, I mean, and in general, I would say AI is more of a tool. I don't think it's 100% refined to the point where you can type something in and fully trust what it says. I use it as a tool, and I catch it making mistakes regularly, but it's pretty prevalent. I mean, whether I need copy for or help writing like my blogs or my social media posts, a script for a video that I'm shooting, just like an assistant that's there, and obviously it helps with, I mean, I set up an AI bot to answer calls when I'm away from the phone, answering support tickets on my website. uh what else we got? I mean, on if you message me on Messenger, just the list goes on. I mean, yeah, it's a great tool to have. And if you're not on it, I would get on it. There's a slight learning curve, but it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah, I endorse that as well. Um, Conversely, do you think in any way it has made work harder for you, or maybe shifted client expectations? Where AI helps us do things faster generally, and like speeds up the research process, or content generation potentially. Have you seen clients expect you to do things faster because so many people are using AI, or has it affected their expectations around pricing? Have you seen any of that?
Uh, Good question. I would say for the most part, no. but it's also a matter, I guess, of framing things in a certain way and transparency. I usually come off the bat, and if I'm using AI for a service, I say, yes, I this is what I'm doing. I'm using AI for this. If they have a question about pricing, then why does it cost this much? I say, well, I'm still checking because AI is not perfect. Or why does it cost this much? Because I'm still going in there and checking. So that's labor that's associated with it. Why isn't it faster? Again, maybe the same answer. I'll change it up a little bit, but yeah. So it's I I usually say um, I usually don't come across that much complaints, but I mean it happens here and there. But as long as you know what I do is just be transparent. I mean, from the jump, I say, hey, I'm building out some copy for using AI, but I'm also there's quality assurance and professional oversight on my end just to make sure that everything is on point because uh, AI is not perfect. It might come to a point in the next 5 to 10 years where it is perfection and it doesn't require human oversight, but we're not there yet. And even when we get there, you know, still have to manage the machine. So
Yeah. Yeah, and building on that, do you find that, like I've observed that AI has gotten a lot better. I started using Jasper a few years ago, and the blogs were terrible. The only hope was that Google crawlers couldn't tell, but nobody
mhm.
nobody reading it would think it was a good piece. But now over time, I think it's become very readable, and sometimes hard to tell. I wouldn't say always, but really improved. But how would you say that AI compared, like, just do you think it would be a good practice to go all AI for content generation, or do you think that there's still the need for some human touch? Uh, when you're describing your brand, or how would you balance those two content generation channels?
I would say we're at the point where, like you said, uh, AI, large language models have come a pretty long way, and I used Jasper also years ago. Yeah, and it has come a long way. Uh, I think the latest model has been ChatGPT 5, and messing with that a little bit. I mean, it's just really good. I'm good and comfortable on my end with copying and pasting. Copy
Mhm.
whatever it is. I need to read it first. There are some things that I might backspace, delete, maybe
Mhm.
alter a word here and there. So there is still that. I'm not at the point where I'm copying and pasting and shipping and publishing, uh, but very, very minor modifications to make it humanize it a little bit, but also just make sure it's completely right for what I'm doing. And I want to touch on something else that you mentioned as far as the Google bots, and this is something that I've kind of done some research on my end, and from my understanding, and I think Google has actually made an announcement that said as long as your content is relevant to the page, to the user, to whatever it is, and it knows that it's AI, it doesn't matter. It's not going to penalize you, and your sites are going to continue to rank. Now, I've heard other specialists, negate that and say, Google might say that, but it's not true. Again, I mean, Google algorithms are mysterious, so we don't know. But again, it's ChatGPT launched just a few years ago. That's where we are right now. It's just the AI just emerging everywhere, and obviously it's worth the conversation. But yeah, to answer your original question, it's just I just make slight alterations. We're still not at the point that it's 100% perfect, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's wise. Um, and it is, I think overall it's really hard to make like hard and fast rules, or like eternal principles as it regards to AI, just because it has changed so much. I mean, I think at one point you could maybe say like, oh man, this is the best AI can do. I just don't see the vision. I don't think that it's ever going to replace copywriters. And then it like just takes these huge leaps forward, and you're like, well, I don't know, maybe I maybe I can't make predictions like this. In as regards to video too, like how great are the videos that like VO produces, and it's it does make me want to just consume every bit of news that comes out of these LLMs just to make sure I'm still relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and that's a good point. You definitely want to know what's going on with the updates if there's new tech, because if you're not, then you're probably going to be left behind. Um, even if you're still using, actual video to take care of everything, you're writing your own copy and all that, and it's better. Now, I'm definitely big on quality over quantity, but if it's just a small marginal difference between the quality and you could pump out much more quantity, then it might be worth looking into.
Yeah, yep, I think that's exactly it. Is like we might make a few trade-offs, but the speed and the quantity that you can get from these LLMs is just remarkable, and I wouldn't believe it from just a few years ago. It's
Yeah,
kind of mind blowing.
for sure.
Well, Gil, this is super interesting, and I would love to pick your brain again in a future conversation. If people are interested in working with you, or would love to have you as a guest on a podcast, or just learn from you, where can they find you?
So a couple of different places. Feel free to email me, Gil, at zenithmarketinggroup.com. Um, you can find me on Instagram, Zenith Marketing Group, or my personal Instagram. Feel free to follow me, Golan 23, Gil Golan 23 at sorry, that's just Golan 23 is my Instagram. Zenith Marketing Group is the business Instagram, and check out my website, zenithmarketinggroup.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. I'm glad we connected, and look forward to continuing conversation.
Awesome, thanks, Reed. Appreciate it.
Want to stay ahead of what's actually working in marketing right now? Head over to MarketSurge.io and see how we're helping businesses grow smarter, faster, and louder. That's MarketSurge.io, because your next breakthrough shouldn't be a guess.